Hidden deep within the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, at nearly 2,400 meters above sea level, one of the most controversial construction megaprojects in the United States is quietly unfolding. Hundreds of thousands of tons of fresh concrete are being poured onto the crest of a 70-year-old dam to raise it by more than 40 meters. But here is the twist: they spent 20 years fighting legal battles and hundreds of millions of dollars just to secure permission to pour the first batch of concrete. And even now, with the structure rising, a federal court could still order it to stop. This is the Gross Reservoir expansion project, one of the most intense, high-stakes construction gambles ever attempted in the Rocky Mountains. Few people realize that much of the water sustaining Denver today does not come from the eastern side of the Rockies, where the city is expanding, but from the western side. For decades, Denver Water's Trans-Mountain Tunnel system has transferred water across the Continental Divide, delivering it to reservoirs closer to population centers. Gross Reservoir serves as a central regulating facility, capturing spring snowmelt and redistributing water through the long dry months across Colorado's Front Range. But since the dam was first constructed in the 1950s, Denver's water demand has increased dramatically, while the reservoir's storage capacity has remained almost unchanged. Instead of building an entirely new reservoir, engineers chose a far more strategic solution: raise the existing dam by 40 meters, transforming Gross Reservoir into a critical water storage hub for the 21st century. Before the dam could be raised, the entire load-bearing mechanism had to be redesigned. The original structure functioned as a gravity dam, transferring water pressure directly down into the foundation. The expanded upper section is being engineered as a thick arch dam, redirecting water loads laterally into the canyon walls on both sides. To create abutments strong enough to receive these new forces, construction teams first had to stabilize the dam's shoulders along both sides of the valley. Clearing vegetation, preparing access areas, then a large-scale drilling and controlled blasting program removed unstable rock masses from both canyon slopes. Approximately 250,000 cubic yards of rock were excavated to expose bedrock strong enough to support the new structure. On the left abutment, about 15,000 cubic yards of replacement foundation concrete were mixed on site to ensure strict quality control. On the right abutment, crews installed a dense network of rock bolts and anchors to stabilize the rock mass above the future foundation zone. Through this process, the two canyon walls were transformed from natural terrain into integral structural components of the new load-bearing system. Before any roller-compacted concrete, RCC, could be placed onto the existing dam, the contact surface between old and new had to be carefully treated. This interface would determine whether the two generations of concrete separated by more than 70 years could act as a single unified structural system. Crews first removed the deteriorated surface layer using mechanical cutting equipment, exposing dense structural concrete to a depth of about 23 centimeters. Then came the most sophisticated step: hydrodemolition. Robotic systems positioned against the dam face sprayed high-pressure water jets at up to 20,000 psi, precisely removing about 7.6 centimeters of the outer concrete layer without damaging the intact structural core beneath. Unlike traditional mechanical demolition, which can introduce microcracking, hydrodemolition uses water's kinetic energy to selectively remove weakened material while preserving the internal aggregate structure. The result: a micro-roughened concrete surface with exposed aggregates, ideal conditions for strong mechanical bonding between the old dam and the new RCC layers placed above it. The height increase is being carried out using roller-compacted concrete, placed in successive lifts, raising the structure from about 104 meters to roughly 143 meters measured from the canyon floor. Before placement began, the crest of the existing dam had to be widened by about 27 meters to provide sufficient load transfer area for the new section. A foundation grouting program followed, with drill holes approximately 9 meters deep installed into canyon bedrock. Cement grout was injected into microfractures to improve foundation strength and reduce seepage. Across the dam face, RCC was spread in layers about 30 centimeters thick using bulldozers. Heavy vibratory rollers then compacted each layer to achieve the required density. The dam body is being raised using a stepped configuration, with each structural step approximately 1.2 meters high and set back about 0.6 meters toward the upstream direction. In total, 118 RCC steps will form the new raised section, extending nearly 600 meters across when completed. A full-scale RCC trial section about 4.5 meters high, 15 meters wide, and more than 60 meters long was built on site to test construction procedures, equipment performance, and material mix design before full deployment. By early September 2025, the dam had already been raised by approximately 18 meters, with about 22 meters remaining to reach its final design elevation. Just as the construction site had completed roughly two-thirds of its total volume and the new arch structure was gradually closing its geometry, a major legal blow struck the $537 million infrastructure project. In 2018, several environmental organizations filed a lawsuit in federal court against the United States Army Corps of Engineers, the agency that had approved Denver Water's permit. The core issue: the project would nearly triple the storage capacity of Gross Reservoir, significantly altering how water is distributed across the Colorado River system, a basin already under severe stress after years of prolonged drought. Facing the critical water needs of 1.5 million residents, Denver Water made one of the boldest infrastructure gambles in its history. They moved heavy equipment into the mountains and poured the first batch of concrete in 2022, while the lawsuit was still unresolved. But as the dam structure began taking shape, a federal judge ordered construction to pause temporarily so the original permitting process could be fully re-examined. The new RCC dam body is steadily approaching technical completion, but the future operation of the expanded reservoir still depends on the final decision of the federal court. If that decision is not overturned, the gamble could collapse entirely. The $500 million structure standing high in the Rocky Mountains could become one of the most dramatic unfinished monuments in modern construction history, solid, precise, and complete in engineering terms, yet permanently forbidden from ever holding water. To keep this megaproject running smoothly at 2,400 meters elevation, the entire construction site was transformed into a fully self-contained industrial production system. After being mixed at the central batching plant located at the top of the site, the RCC was transported through a multi-level conveyor system, passing several intermediate transfer points before being released into an 85-meter high chute that delivered material directly to the active placement zones on the dam surface. At this stage, the RCC was loaded into intermediate transport vehicles moving laterally across the dam crest. These vehicles traveled along the placement route, turned around at the end of each lift section, and discharged material in front of bulldozers responsible for spreading the concrete. The bulldozers spread each new RCC layer to about 30 centimeters thick. Specialized rollers followed in sequence to carry out compaction in two stages, first static rolling, then vibratory rolling until the required design density was achieved. At the top of the dam structure, the central batching plant functioned as the material heart of the entire project. RCC was produced using aggregates quarried on site, combined with cement, fly ash, and water according to a tightly controlled mix design. One especially important component was chilled rock, added during batching to reduce the concrete's temperature from the beginning, helping control hydration heat inside the massive dam structure and improving long-term strength performance. The final step in raising the dam involved constructing a new spillway system. The spillway walls, standing 5.5 meters high, were built using high-strength conventional concrete and designed to guide and dissipate the energy of water flow when the reservoir reaches its maximum operating level. Once the structure reaches the design elevation of approximately 143 meters from the valley floor, the new RCC dam body will not only increase reservoir storage capacity but also complete the transformation from an original curved gravity dam into a system capable of transferring water loads more efficiently into the canyon abutments. Despite the legal ruling still hanging over the project, the massive concrete structure known as Gross Reservoir continues to rise in the Rocky Mountains like a monumental symbol of modern construction engineering. Hundreds of millions of dollars, 2 decades of planning, and the disciplined effort of hundreds of workers and engineers have been poured into this canyon to repair a large-scale systemic weakness in regional water infrastructure. Engineers have achieved something remarkable, forcing a 70-year-old structure to transform itself and take on an entirely new mission. Yet this project reveals a harsh reality. Can human engineering truly push nature beyond its limits? If the permanent restriction on filling the reservoir is never lifted, this megastructure could become one of the most dramatic reminders of how infrastructure planning can be overwhelmed by environmental pressure. The concrete is rising. The court is deliberating. And the Rocky Mountains are watching. If you want to explore more stories about the world's most intense construction megaprojects where engineering ambition meets legal battles, environmental pressure, and geological limits, subscribe to Quick Tech Process. We go to the front lines of infrastructure. We decode the engineering. And we reveal what it really takes to reshape the landscape. Hit subscribe. Join the journey. The next megaproject is already under construction.